Once upon a time in a far-distant land of Kebbi State in the northwestern part of Nigeria, lied a village called Argungu. The Argungu people were known for their skills in fishing. In the village, there lived a poor orphan boy called Machundi. Machundi lost his parents at a very tender age when a deadly plague struck their village. The disease had no mercy on the villagers, it spread amongst them like a wildfire, many lost their loved ones, and Machundi was one of such people. Machundi was left in the hands of fate. As life was a struggle by the day, he had to do menial jobs to feed. As time went on, Machundi developed interest in fishing trade since fishing was the major trade in his village. Machundi pleaded with one of the greatest fishermen in Argungu, Oga Musa, to teach him all he needed to learn about the fishing trade. Oga Musa accepted to take him as one of his apprentices and teach him the fishing trade. Machundi began his training as a fisherman. He would set out to go fishing and would toil from morning till evening and would catch nothing, and on the days he gets lucky, he would catch only 1 or 2 fishes. His fellow apprentice would laugh at his poor fishing skills and make mockery of him. Obviously fishing is not your calling in life, they would say, but Machundi was not discouraged, neither was he broken by their demeaning words and actions. One faithful day Machundi went out to fish. He toiled from dawn to dusk but caught nothing. He was sad, tired, and hungry. He was about giving up, but on a second thought, he decided to try one more time. Finally, he was able to catch just one little fish. "One fish," Machundi exclaimed happily. Machundi was grateful to God for it, at least the fish was going to serve as his dinner. On his way home, Machundi came across an old man seated by the bush along a footpath leading to the village. The old man was begging for alms from passers-by, but everyone that passed by ignored him, nobody gave him any alms. Machundi, upon seeing the old man, had compassion on him and gave him the only food he had, been the only fish he caught for the day. The old man looked at him with a thankful expression on his face and then asked Machundi if he was a fisherman. Machundi answered in the affirmative. The man then raised his 2 hands in the air and prayed for Machundi, murmuring inaudible words. Machundi answered Amen, and took his leave. The following day, Machundi took his fishing net and headed to his boat to fish. Upon arriving at a suitable spot on the river for him to set his net, he started hearing voices speaking below his boat deep in the water. At first, he thought they were human beings swimming in the river. But again he realized that humans do not have the ability to speak in water. He was so confused and scared he didn't understand what was going on. With fear and trembling, Machundi decided to summon enough courage to dive into the water to see for himself the people who could talk in water. To his greatest surprise, he saw fishes talking and having fun. He thought he was losing his mind. He could understand what the fishes were saying, and in fact the ability was so strong that he could hear them from a mile away. Machundi could not understand what was happening to him. He then remembered the old man by the footpath whom he gave his only fish to the previous day. Unknown to Machundi, the old man was a mystical man that possessed the ability to hear and understand fishes. The old man was a great fisherman in his youthful age because of the ability he possessed, and now that he is old and advanced in age, he wanted to pass down the ability to somebody who is kind-hearted and would use the ability for greater good and help people and not for himself and for his selfish purposes. Hence the reason he was begging for alms by the footpath, looking for a kind-hearted and compassionate fisherman to pass down the ability. Machundi was filled with joy and was grateful to God for making his path to cross with the old mystical man. That day Machundi made a great catch, because he could hear the spot where the fishes were hiding. Machundi, with his new powers and ability, soon became an excellent fisherman. Machundi would make a great catch each time he sets his boat out in the river to fish. He became an enviable entity to all his contemporaries, and a force to be reckoned with. His fellow apprentices under Oga Musa were very jealous of him. They could not understand how Machundi became this excellent in fishing, seeing how poor he was at fishing just a moment ago when he joined them, coupled with the fact that he was the last to join Oga Musa's apprentice and the most junior of them all. Machundi became a very excellent fisherman because the ability he now possessed as a result of his kindness and compassion. The village of Argungu celebrates its fishing festival annually, and the festival was around the corner. Machundi felt encouraged to register for the fishing contest. After all, he is now the greatest fisherman in the whole of Argungu village. With his ability, no one could beat him in the game. The contest was usually to catch the largest fish in Argungu River, and the fisherman that caught it will be handsomely rewarded. But this time around, the village chief announced that the contest is to catch the large golden fish that had been foretold by their ancestors to have been in the river for decades. The fish was believed to be a myth and was probably just a story being told from generation to generation by their ancestors. The village chief announced that any fisherman that catches the large golden fish shall be rewarded with half the kingdom and shall marry his daughter the princess. The contest was designed to last for 4 days. On the day of the contest, all the eligible fishermen came out with high spirit and eager to catch the golden fish. The contest was declared open and all the fishermen set out to fish. On the first and second days, the fishermen caught so many fishes but not the golden fish. Machundi was calm and focused. He didn't bother catching any other fish except for the large golden fish. On the third day, the amount of fishes caught by the fishermen reduced drastically because majority of the fishes in the river were already caught in the first and second days. Towards the evening and the end of the third day's contest, as every other fisherman was closing for the day and moving out of the river, Machundi decided to stay back on the river to listen carefully and attentively to the fishes still swimming around, so as to hear or get a clue about the whereabouts of the large golden fish. Soon enough, he heard 2 fishes talking about the exact spot where the golden fish hides, and the exact time it comes out to take a swim. On the 4th and final day, all the fishermen came out with so much eagerness to get this fish, they all set out on the river. Machundi on the other hand didn't bother to join them. In fact, he became one of the spectators, cheering and having fun, saving his energy for the right time. At dusk, when all the fishermen were exhausted, tired and feeling discouraged, Machundi took his fishing net and set out into the river to go fishing. Everybody was laughing at him, saying, "If all those fishermen in their number could not find the whereabout of the golden fish, how can you alone find the fish in this mighty river, and at dusk with no natural light?" Machundi did not answer them. He swam to the exact spot where the large golden fish was hiding, set his net and waited patiently for the fish to come out for a swim. Just a few moments later, Machundi sighted a very large golden fish swimming just a little distance from where he was. Machundi was taken aback. He was shocked and surprised that the large golden fish myth was a true story. Machundi managed to compose himself and set his net well to catch the fish. Machundi eventually caught the large golden fish, after much struggling and applying all the fishing techniques he learnt from his master Oga Musa. Machundi caught the fish and brought it to the bank of the river where a scale hanging on a pole was set to measure the weight of the fish. The fish was measured and it was discovered that the golden fish was the heaviest fish ever caught in the history of Argungu Fishing Festival. The whole village was filled with celebrations and cheers for Machundi. Many young boys were filled with admiration for Machundi and wished to be like him someday. The village chief announced Machundi's reward, which was half of the village and the princess's hand in marriage. Soon a date for their wedding was set and half the kingdom was given to Machundi to rule over. He ruled with kindness and compassion, using his ability to feed the poor. Machundi became a very successful ruler with his beautiful wife by his side. Many years went by and the story of Machundi, the greatest fisherman in Argungu, was told from generation to generation, a tale of kindness.